Today, we're going to talk about what is the number one determining factor for everything that happens: success, strength, health, wealth, relationships. Everything depends on this one thing. And there are many words for this one thing. Number one is belief. Whether you believe it to be true or not. And I'm going to let you in on another synonym for belief that many people understand or know about, which is expectation. And expectation creates emotion, and emotion creates experiences. Now, how does that work? You may be saying, Keith, what are you talking about? Well, have you ever thought about something like eating a piece of fruit or your favorite food, whatever it may be, and your mouth literally starts watering and you're just like thinking about it so much that you're so anticipating this excitement? That is what I mean by your expectation creates an emotion. Or better yet, here's an even more prolific one. When you're about to go on vacation and it's like you just booked the ticket and it's a month away and you're already excited. 3 weeks away, you're more excited. 2 weeks away, you start like shopping for different clothes. You're like, this is the jammy jam. You start looking at different spots that you could go visit on that place that you're going to, in your vacation spot. 1 week away, how excited are you? The plane ride going up towards your dream destination, you are so virtually excited you could feel it. Then you get there and then you like it almost sometimes it's not even as exciting. For most of us, it's as exciting. Sometimes if something happens and you could easily get distracted by like contributing factors, like it raining. You go into Hawaii and it starts raining and you're like, what is this? You get so upset because your expectation created the emotion of excitement or the emotion of heartbreak, right? And that creates your experience because your belief creates life to be a burden or a blessing. And it could be a blessing just by the direction that you put your mind in. It's said before that the tongue is the rudder of the boat, which means that your tongue, what you say and what you say to yourself, like your thoughts are words that are not yet said. They're both seeds to your experience. Your thoughts and your words are seeds that bring life or death. You say death, isn't that kind of harsh? Well, to me, depression and deception and doubt and despair are worse than death. And that's the direction you put yourself in by the decision you make from a belief, from an expectation that creates your emotion, that creates your environment, creates all of your experiences, because your perception changes what you see. And you may think that you're seeing what is, but you see how you are more than what is actually there. We all see different things. 4 people could watch the same movie or read the same book or hear the same story, and they're all going to think differently. Matter of fact, culture tends to create a difference in how we see things because it changes our belief and our perception. Our perception, our belief, our expectation, these are all one and the same. And depending on where we are, there's studies showing this, that like beauty is in the eye of the beholder culturally. Because depending on where we are is how we see beauty. Because we are so influenced by the masses. And what you focus on frequently becomes your frequency. So when you consistently tell yourself the same thing that originated from someone else telling you, because none of us are born knowing everything. We learn how to read, we learn how to write, we learn how to walk, we learn how to talk, and we learn how to communicate a certain way. And when we have more higher amounts of vocabulary, when we know more words to say, we tend to see different worlds because worlds are in our words. And words Widen your world. Widen your world. You're capable of so much more. It's like being able to speak a new language. It opens you the doors up to your experience and your perception. And that's why it's so important to read some of these beautiful books here. To enhance yourself, to listen to people that not just have what you would like to have, that not just do what you'd like to do, but are who you'd like to be, because being is the ultimate. We get goals not to get things, but to become a different person. And that is the ultimate in life, is to become a new person. So the number one way we become a new person is what this is all about, is your belief. Who do you believe you can be? What are you expecting out of life? What are you seeing? What is your perception of how you're living? What is the story you're telling yourself? Because the story you tell yourself sets the frame for your life. And that story is conducted by your self-talk, even though most of us believe that our story is designed not from our self-talk, but from the situations and the sounds that we hear, like our social life, social media, our social standing in life of where our culture is, where we live, the situations. It's not. You control the story that you tell yourself by telling yourself and communicating with yourself. Because communication is another form of intention. Intention is not just what you do, it's what you say. And what you say comes from what you think. What you think becomes so strong, it becomes a word, and they're both seeds. Thought, word, seed develops your entire life. So feed it very wisely. Because the words you say to yourself change your entire world. And when you believe something, it's so much more likely to become true. It is the deciding factor in your reality, because so many other things could contribute to your reality, but the thing that causes the decision is consistent thought in the right direction, accurate thinking, because consistency brings competence. And competence, if you look up that word, it literally is accurate thinking, accurate action, accurate doing, accurate being, precision, looking at the metrics, looking at what you've been doing, making sure it works, changing it so that it does work. And that brings competency. Consistency brings competency. It's not just doing it once. We didn't just try to walk for 1 month and then say, oh, okay, I'm done. Most of us walk for 9 to 12 to 18 months before we learned how to walk. And then we got competence. And then after you got competence, what happened? You start walking with confidence. Because competence brings confidence. Because you know it's the truth and you know you're capable of it. Confide in it is mean trust. Trust is like knowing that it's true. You trust what is true, and what's true is what you do on a regular basis, so you become a different person. You can apply this knowledge to every aspect of your life. Why? Because it's a principle. It's a principle of identity. And principles work all the time, everywhere, for everyone. And principles not only work all the time for everyone, everywhere. Principles are microcosms that work with macrocosms. What in the world does that mean, Keith? What that means is that a principle works in one place and it correlates or works in another place. Like there's another book I got right here, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle. Right here? Yeah, right here. Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. Now, this is one of the books that I haven't read yet in my library, because if you have a good library, there are many books you haven't read yet. Yes, I said that correctly. If you have a good library and you're a good student, you have many books you haven't read yet, because we read as readers to learn more, not because we're smart, because we'd like to get smarter. This book, because I've been told what it's about, because when you start reading some good books, you get told about more books, because if you open a book, it's gonna talk about a different book. Like I could probably like just skip around here and it will talk about a different book. Nice bookmark in there I'm gonna read. No, no, didn't see it yet. Kant, like Immanuel Kant, right? Started talking about Immanuel Kant, another author. I believe he's talking about Kant, Immanuel Kant. Um, Talking about a different author, and that leads us to another book. Good books are always going to lead you to another book. I mean, some books are great and they don't lead to another book, but most nonfiction books lead to another book. And then it just goes on and on. So I either learned this from another book, or I think it was both, from another book and from another person. And I know this book talks about principles leading to other principles because it's literally in the title. Zen, right? The art of motorcycle maintenance. What does motorcycle maintenance have to do with Zen, like a calm state of mind? Because once you learn one thing, you could apply it to just about everything. Do you get that? Once you learn one thing, you could apply it to so many other things. Like fitness leads to biomechanics. It's literally a section of fitness. Biomechanics leads to mechanics. You start to understand how things work. There are so many underlying principles in one principle. And it's amazing once you start learning principles, because tactics and strategies are great and they work very well. You need them to learn things, yet to understand the principles sets you at a different level of learning. And then you start to apply the principles and apply them in your own special way. And that is the essence of changing everything. Changing everything. And then that's really when it's like the highest level of confidence, the highest level of belief, when you start transforming what you know into your own way of doing it, because you are an individual snowflake. You're made by God. You're made by greatness. So you are greatness. So you're capable of great things. God made you to create because God's a creator and you're made in God's image. So you are here to create great things. And when you create, you put your own twist on it. And that is the ultimate level of belief. That is the ultimate level of perception, because it all starts with perception. If you can't change the way you're looking at things, then the tactics and strategies don't matter, nor do the principles, because you just won't even believe it's true. You got to believe it to see it. Believe it to see it. I didn't say that backwards. Whenever we say see it to believe it, it's just because we're using our imagination, our visualization, to actually create it into existence, because everything around you was once a dream of someone else's, right? We have equality because someone said, I have a dream. We have books because of a printing press, because someone saw an opportunity to be a solution, and you are a solution, my friend. You are a solution to some giant problem, and that's why you see the problem. So be the solution and don't be a problem. You are amazing. Believe that you can, and you will. Believe that you are here to do amazing things, and you will do amazing things. Or belief is powerful. It works both ways. The law of polarity, the principle of polarity. If you believe that you're not here to do anything and you're here to watch TV, drink beer, smoke, and party, then that's exactly what you'll get out of life. And it seems easy now, but another law of polarity, principle of polarity, is that it seems easy and it will become hard in the end. If it seems easy now, if it seems hard, like first time you work out, first time you go for a run, seems real hard, it not only becomes easy, it makes life easier. Woo! Gems dropped. Y'all, smash that like button. Put it into a love button if you can, and more importantly, subscribe so you can get more messages like this. Send this. Don't be selfish. Send this to someone who needs it. Send it to them as a text message. This is important information. I know it. I believe it is because I've experienced it. And once I experience it, like it goes in reverse. The experience also creates an emotion. And that also creates an expectation. I expect for myself higher things. I must share this. I must share this because I've done it consistently and it created competence. And now I have confidence that I know that these principles are game changers in life. So apply them. Repetition, into implementation, and then progression. What does that mean? It means you got to repeat it consistently to become competent so you could become confident. Repeat it, and then implement it. And then implement it again and again, because the first try, it may not be the buy. It might not work the best way the first time that you apply it. So apply it over and over again, because you might just be trying instead of applying, if you know what I mean. Try, Yoda said it. There is no try. There is only do or not do. So you may have tried and it's time to apply. And when you apply after repetition, you get that implementation and then there's progression. Don't progress until you've completed the mission, my friend. You are amazing. You're capable of anything great. I will see you on the next side.